My name is Lasse Quorning, working from Immeo and visiting Copperberg today.
And Lasse, thank you for joining us. And this is the last of some great conversations we've been having here at the eConnect Power of 50. The purpose that we're looking for in these after-hours discussions is to draw the insights from the experts that we've invited to kind of help us with shaping this conversation. Sure. To start off with, let's talk about your area of expertise and the conversations that you wanted to have when you bring it in. What were you expecting, and what was the message that you wanted to connect with? Because we've got a room here of, obviously 50, hence the name, but 50 real industry leaders, a very, very knowledgeable crowd. Yeah. What was the conversation you wanted to have to start off with?
So first of all, our main focus today was awareness of e-commerce and especially PIM systems, since we're also working together with InRiver on this day. But we were a bit bold on our theme because we brought up sustainability as a subject, which was, I would say, a bit of a surprise to many participants, because some of them is not fully on top of their agenda of the sustainability agenda. It's more how to sell and how to digitalize their spare parts.
Yeah, it was an interesting, and like you say, it was bold. It's an important conversation to have. But it is absolutely something that's perhaps from left field for an awful lot of people here of going. So talk us through the linkage there. So how does improving our e-commerce improve our sustainability goals, our initiatives, put us closer to where we want to be?
So the first question we asked was, how important is the ESG agenda when you look at it in 2024? And for half of them, it wasn't on their top mind, and the other half, it was actually really important, but they maybe needed the form or the language to actually see what they needed to do in order to succeed with their sustainability goals. What we saw was that it was really interesting to say that many of the companies are actually forward-thinking in terms of sustainability already right now, but we're quite surprised about what is being nice to have in terms of reporting carbon footprint, materials used in their products, report that to end customers, to something that is going to be neat to have when you talk about the digital product passport. And the digital product passport, I don't think many have heard of it right now, but it is a EU regulative that's going to change the way companies and manufacturers will sell their products over the next few years.
And how pressing a case is this? Because you're right.
Yeah.
Certainly, not that many organisations quite have got their head around this.
No.
And I think, in particular, our audience here, we've got audience members in the United States, in the UK, in the ASEAN regions. But of course, the EU is such a huge bloc. A lot of product is going to come in and out that will impact those as well.
Exactly.
How critical is it? I mean, and how far away is this? Do we have to act quite urgently now?
I say we have time. Okay. So during this year and the next year, the specification is done from the EU to what data and how is the data architecture built around all this vast amount of product information you need to have in order. But this is the perfect opportunity right now to really dig in and get your data, product data, in order. Not only for the digital product passport, but to actually be able to execute with a high level of automation and digitalization in the way you approach your digital market.
I've been writing for a long time around topics like servitization, best practices in aftermarket and field service delivery.
Sure.
And on the conversation around sustainability, one of the things that I wrote about for a long time was how actually, when it comes to aligning sustainability and servitization as an example, they're absolutely complete best bedfellows, because by driving towards better service strategies that actually improve the bottom line in terms of the service P&L, boost the top line and the profitability, we're actually automatically always going to be hitting sustainability goals. We're going to be reducing our carbon footprint. We're going to be delivering service remotely. We're going to make sure that our supply chain is optimized. Is that the same when it comes to the conversation around e-commerce as well? Have we got the same thread there that actually it's not just about the regulation?
No.
Although that is a key driver.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be moving in that direction anyway. As wonderful as looking after the planet is,
yes,
actually it's better for the business, isn't it? It's better for the profitability.
I think it opens up new possibilities, going from what I would say linear sales models, selling things online, to have a circular way of approaching your customer, and also how they can servitize their products and have them reinventing with new business models for the company itself in terms of take back, for instance. So tracking the entire product lifecycle enables new opportunities both for the end customer but also for the business itself on how to leverage the product and also the customer lifetime value on top of that.
One of the things I've been asking our experts that have joined me for the after hours conversations is what they felt about the maturity of technology and strategy when it comes to e-commerce in B2B. It's still a relatively young concept. The idea of buying heavy manufacturing assets or composables or elements is still something new to us. I get the sense that we're starting to move on the upward part of the curve. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree, and I was really surprised on actually how far many companies here are, and also how open we can share the challenges. It's more a community than it's a forum here, and I think the honesty of where there are pitfalls but also opportunities on the e-commerce part is very enlightening. If we look at how mature they are, I think it's nice to see that people are embarking on this e-commerce journey, which is basically a big change management exercise first and foremost, and then a technology challenge. But also the maturity in terms of approaching this challenge. Talking about customer centricity is definitely one of the big steps towards this insight of what do we want to achieve with our platforms, our systems, our data, and how do we connect it all together by the end user and go.
Yes, I think one of the things that's really come clear to me across the day, and also a lot of the conversations I've had post-event, is that customer centricity, that outside in, as Lena on the panel at the end pointed out, is absolutely vital. As somebody that has been championing, Peter Drucker's work for a long, long time, I think especially in this domain of e-commerce, understanding what the customer journey wants to look like, what's optimized for them, is absolutely critical. So I think you're absolutely correct on that. Sorry, please.
I was just reflecting on the fact that what was mentioned in the keynote was that we are looking at the potential buyers, the customers now, as millennials. And those are the ones who are used to order things online and are using their phones. So they want to see that in the way they do shopping with manufacturers as well.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. We've got a digital native population that has now got to the point where they are the acquisition makers, for want of a better way of phrasing that. There's a better way of phrasing that, we're going to get to it, but it's the end of a long day.
It is.
I would like to talk about the challenges that you've seen, because there are challenges, and like you said, we've touched on a number of the pitfalls, and I think you're absolutely right. It is more of a community than a conference.
For sure.
It's a coming together of sharing ideas, and it's great to hear that, because that's what we're trying to build. And of course, the partners that we work with, like yourselves, we invite in because we know that the challenges that a lot of the conversations have become based around here are challenges that you're actively working with companies to work through now. So I'll put it to you as a twofold question, if I can. First of all, is there common challenges? Are you seeing common threads coming through from the conversations today, mapping against the prospects that are coming to you and saying, how do I fix this? And how are you working with companies to kind of overcome those?
So one of the common denominators is the data challenge. We were talking in my table discussions about the sustainability data and how you exploit that commercially, but it's all the data that you need to collect for your parts, your final products, and how do you expose them commercially, both with pricing, but also for the sustainability information. So getting that harmonized data and being in control of your data foundation to expose it to multiple channels, that's a key challenge I see for all of the people I have talked with today.
Okay, one final question, Lasse, if I may. I thought we saw some interesting presentations. I saw a common theme across a lot of those conversations. I thought it was interesting how much synchronicity there was, on presentations that I know that there's not been any touch points there, and the same messaging coming through.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I saw was perhaps, it was in the study that came from Copperberg themselves that we partnered with, and we saw that there were some people in this room today. Danfoss, when they gave the first presentation, huge numbers. There was other organisations, but they are the outliers.
Yes.
What would your advice be for the organisations watching this, the manufacturers watching this, that aren't posting those 88% and 100%, that are in that bracket of the 18% of their revenue? What's the first step they take?
I would say, I think what we heard from today was talk and listen to the customer, the end customer in first place, but then getting your business goals simplified and getting your own organization in charge and set ownership. That's the first things you need to do. Then you can make a roadmap and embark on how do you want to achieve this with the right technology and how do you find the right people to break it down. But setting the right direction and ensuring ownership first of all is what I see the biggest challenge.
It's fascinating as well that we've had, like I said, the experts that we've brought in to share their insights, like yourself, with the community we've got here. Now, largely technology organisations, yet everybody to a person, and this goes back to that sense of community. That transcends not just those that are our delegates, but our partners as well, working together to bring to bring the industry forwards. And it's fascinating to see that so many times we hear, actually, it's not the technology, that's the bit that we put together in the end phase. It's the process, the understanding, get the foundation correct. And then we bring the technology in. It's been a really important takeaway for me, and I think the fact that we've had so many wonderful technology partners that are willing to share their advice like you've done today is a great testament to where our entire industry is. And on behalf of everyone, thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right.